Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 124. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time truly is our greatest asset. And the fact that you're willing to share your time with me is truly appreciated. And I want to honor that today. Here we are at end of holiday season, if you will, starting of the new year. And hopefully some of you or all of you had some time to take off to spend with family and friends and enjoy the holiday season and recharge for what looks like is going to be a fantastic year. And I say that because I believe we have a choice in how we approach this upcoming year. Our decision as to if it's going to be a good or a bad or a slow or a fast or whatever it is that we want it to be is really up to us. And over the holiday time, I took a few weeks off of coaching, which gave me time to work on other projects, the book, coaching programs, and just to generally relax and enjoy. But during that time, I was doing some research. As you can imagine, my brain is always kind of in coach mode. And I was doing some research based upon cycles. And, I know I've been in the industry long enough as an entrepreneur that you can watch economics happen in cycles. Things tend to happen in patterns. And if we pay attention to those patterns, it can sometimes really help us understand what's going on. And I stumbled upon an article and caused me to do a bit more research on this. So today I want to talk about something that's really important. And I want to ground this conversation. It's about patterns. It's about behaviors. It's about observation. And the article that sent me down a research trail was that about the Chinese tradition of the New Year. And I want to have this conversation based in that. Whatever your beliefs are, I just want you to hear the message behind it, because whether this is your belief or something else is your belief, life, business, everything happens in patterns. Everything happens in cycles. And this really helped me put some clarity around definition or a little bit more meaning on what the last few years have meant. A couple times over the holiday, people would ask me, what would you say, or how would you describe 2025? And, I don't believe in good or bad. I do believe, though, that 2025 was a bit noisy. That's my word. Not saying it was bad or good. I'm just saying it was noisy. It had a lot of things happening, some distractions, some good things, and ultimately it was a great year. And I will say it was a little bit noisier than what normally I experience. That being said, I'm not putting a label good or bad. But what was really cool is reading about the Lunar New Year guided by the Chinese zodiac. There's 12-year symbolic cycles that uses animals to reflect patterns of human behavior, energy, and timing. And I love talking about those things, right? Human behavior, our energy, and our timing. It's not about predictions or superstitions. It's really just about some seasonal wisdom and understanding when life invites us to pause, refine, move, or grow. That's really what I want to talk to you about today. So you can either attach it to or detach it from the Chinese tradition. If we look at their definition, right, the past season was symbolized by the snake. That was the animal that it was symbolized by. And the snake typically and traditionally is associated with introspection, discernment, shedding those things that no longer fit. And to me, that was the one that really stood out, shedding, like getting rid of things that just no longer were working or no longer fit. And I look at 2025, and as a coach and as somebody who owns a couple businesses, I experienced that myself. What had to go away to make room for the important things to show up? What needed to be shedded? What behaviors? What thoughts? What was happening that I needed to remove or shed away to allow myself for growth into what was actually happening in 2025? And that to me, that one thing really stood out as I was looking into what they're predicting for the upcoming year. And 2026, as we move into this year, is the year of the horse. And that has been long associated with some really amazing things. It's been associated with momentum, visibility, confidence, forward movement. It's not about, reckless speed. It's really about having a purposeful stride. If you think about a horse and you watch a horse run, it's typically not sporadic. There is a purposeful stride that a horse has. And I love that visual for 2026 because again, we get to choose what we want it to be. That is what I want us to consider as we move into discussions around 7 really important talking points for you to absorb and to choose to infuse into your work as we move into this great new year and all of the opportunity that is presented for us. So number one thing is just remember this, if we think about, the snake shedding and the horse is moving forward, you can simplify it in saying the snake prepared us and the horse is going to propel us. That's it. If you just think about those two things and you base it in their beliefs and their wisdom, I think it's a pretty strong thing that we have been in a phase of being prepared for something bigger, being prepared for something that is going to move us forward. I've done this a long time, team. I first got my real estate license and became a true entrepreneur in 2001. We experienced 9/11 and that shift. Then we experienced it again in 08, 09. We skipped 15, 16, but we had it hit us again in 2022. So I pay attention to patterns and behaviors. And I do believe that the last 2 years have been preparing us for greater things. It was a forced slowdown. It was a forced time to assess what we were doing that was making an impact on our results. So just know this, that number one is that every season has an assignment. The last 2 years weren't wasted. They really were just meant to prepare us. Yeah, some people were hit differently than others. Some industries were hit harder than others. Yet it really wasn't about wasting the last 2 years. Like, oh my gosh, it was such a waste of time. I didn't get anything that I wanted. It was really more about preparing. So shedding is often invisible progress. The snake season asked us to remove what was misaligned. I really want you to think about that one for a minute. I know in the clients that I have the privilege of coaching, we came out of a crazy busy season, right? And I say that with a lot of love and compassion. We came out of a wild season. Economically, things were just on fire. And we entered into a slow season, which was really testing and trying. And what it was identifying mostly was areas that you were misaligned. And I think that took a moment for some people to wrap their brain around. Like the first couple months of the shift of the new season we were in was challenging what we were doing. Was it working? Were they the right things? Are they no longer serving us? Do we need to let some of those things go? Again, part of the shutting. What is no longer aligned to move us forward with the current conditions that we are experiencing? Growth without elimination creates fragility. And so think about that. If we grow without eliminating certain things, it makes you very vulnerable to some of your failures or to some of the things that are not serving you that will be a distraction that makes your success fragile. It is not a strong way to do it. So just think about this. We're starting the year. We've shed some things. We've realigned. We're starting things a little bit lighter. And that is not a bad way to start a new year. I know for us personally, New Year's Eve is not full of parties and being out. We prefer to be at home. And I remember we were watching the different time zones celebrate New Year's. And I felt like there was this collective energy that it was time for a change. It was time for a shift in a different direction. And I felt it with each time zone as they celebrated the new year arriving. There's just a sense of hope and there is a sense of change. And I believe that came because we were forced to shed and realign. Made me very excited every time we watched, especially starting in New York with the ball dropping, that whole excitement. That was where the wave just started and came across the country. Number two thing I want you to think about it is, growth isn't hustle, it's direction. So movement, it's really important when we're looking at movement and momentum that we have clarity. And the horse represents movement, yet it's movement with intention. This is really, really important. Speed requires clarity. It also will magnify confusion if you're not clear. It's not just about moving faster in this next year as a horse picks up speed. It's really about moving with a lot of clarity and moving in a clear path forward. Crystal clear is one of the terms I like to use. And if you ask any of my clients, they've heard me say it numerous times. I like to ask the question, are you crystal clear? Like, is there any doubt still left? Is there something we need to clean up to create that visibility to be even clearer? So I liken it to think about when you get your car washed, right? I just did it the other day. And sometimes you get so used to your windshield being dirty, you don't realize it until you come out on the other side of the car wash, how clear it is and how much better you can see. That's what I want you to think about for yourself in terms of clarity for your business or your life. Have you taken the time to remove the things that were misaligned and to clear up and clean up that sight forward to the point that it's not clouded and you're getting used to a cloudy vision? You want to always have a clear vision, like a clean windshield. So movement requires clarity if you want to do it in a way that doesn't cause exhaustion. When you're just moving for the sake of moving without clarity, without purpose, without a clear vision, you're going to be exhausted because you're doing a lot of activity that's taking a lot of energy that is not serving you, yet we do it sometimes out of habit. We do it because it's what we've always done. Yet if you're looking at 26 in a way of moving with intention, you are going to have to honor the things that you're leaving behind. It's part of the movement. Number three thing to think about is strength requires structure. For the entrepreneurs and leaders that I have the privilege of working with, it is all about structure, systems, and constraints. That is something that sometimes as entrepreneurs we don't like, yet it's really, really important. If we put it in the framework of the Chinese zodiac, the horse symbolizes strength, not chaos. We have got to ensure that our systems are set up to support us moving forward, not to just do things by chance or shiny object, or I'm going to go try this right now. It really is all about having systems in place that can support you as we move forward, because we do not want to be overdoing it or be doing things that aren't serving us because we're at risk of burnout if we don't have the right structure, systems, and constraints in place. The thing I love about systems, structure, constraints is it makes things simpler. Like when I know exactly what the structure is that I'm operating within, things appear easier because we've made it simple. Simplicity becomes the multiplier. When you've eliminated the things that are not really moving you forward and you allowed the space for other things to show up, that's when simplicity can be your greatest multiplier. And I love that. I love the thought of that. Less friction equals more usable power. So as you're eliminating the things that aren't serving you, you're removing some of the friction, and that will realign your power in the area that you need it. Strength is not proven by force, it's proven by control. And the only way you're going to have control as you move into a year of growth is making sure that you've got the right systems, constraints, and structure in place to support you, your business, your life, your team, whatever it is that we're looking at changing as we move forward. The number four thing is confidence comes from capacity, not pressure. So growth responds to readiness, not force. Are you prepared? Do you have a business plan? It's funny. People will ask sometimes, what is your, New Year resolution? And some people say, oh, I don't believe in resolutions. And I'm okay with that. If you don't, you don't. That's great. Yet, do you have a business plan? Because that allows you to be ready. And honestly, a business plan is really exactly what our resolutions are. A business plan is just a resolution because it's a commitment to do something different in the upcoming year. So growth responds to readiness, not force. You can't force it if you're not prepared. If you don't have systems in place, you don't have a business plan with strategies in place, you don't have that stuff that allows you to be ready, you're going to want to force growth, and that will not work. It's resistance at its greatest, and it will cause frustration, anxiety, disappointment. So think about the place that you're in. Are you ready? What's your mindset? Or do you have the belief and the thinking in alignment that your 2026 is going to be the year that you want it to be? Years ago, there was a book written about manifesting, and some people thought all you had to do was say something and then the universe would deliver it. Well, that's part of it, right? We've got to get our mindset in the right place, but then we also have to be willing to show up and do the work. And that is really created by being prepared and being ready, because we cannot force progress. We can't. It's not sustainable if we're forcing it. So don't pressure growth. Be confident in your internal capacity. And the way you're going to build that confidence is by your identity, your beliefs, and your thinking. Are they in order? Is your mindset in order to support the growth and the confidence that's going to help you move down into a really powerful 2026? Pressure chases outcomes. Capacity attracts them. So just make sure that your confidence is coming from capacity, meaning your readiness and your ability to do the work and to receive. That is really important. That's where the capacity is going to be attracted to. Number 5 is this is a visibility year, but only if you're clear. Growth brings great exposure. I will share with you, and I think I've shared, working on a couple really big projects, and one of them has been writing a book, and I'm at the point where it's available for pre-sale. We're doing some marketing stuff, and the book has done one thing that I wasn't prepared for it to do. It has created a great deal of visibility for me in a way different than has ever been done. Outside of my comfort zone, outside of where I've typically operated for the last 20 years. It's created a lot of visibility. And a good friend of mine asked me this question, and it really hit home. I knew why I was writing the book. I really did, but I was having a hard time putting it into words. Like, I knew the concept. I knew why I was writing this book. I knew why it was important. It was timely. It's timeless. It's time for the world to hear this message. And she challenged me on being clear on a mission and a vision. And if you are looking to grow this year and to have a bigger year than you had previously, whether that's more income, whether it's more production, whether it's a bigger team, whatever it is that you're looking to do, you will get exposed, and you need to make sure that you've had clarity. For me, that mission that I've set for the book is just to redefine success through the power of less, period. That's my mission. My vision is to change how the world defines success. So as I was exposed, I had clarity and certainty around what the book's message was all about. It's very simple. Make sure that you are clear on your mission and your vision. Your mission is what you want to do, the reason you're doing it, the impact that you want to make. And the vision is bigger. It's more 40,000 feet. It's what you're looking to create out in the world. And so those two things can help you handle the visibility that will happen in a year of growth. And if you're visible without clarity, you're going to lose some credibility. So think about what you need to be clear about. Visibility will feel uncomfortable if you're not clear in the direction that you're doing. Clarity creates calm under observation. So I've been asked a lot, why'd you do this? What are you doing this book for? Why is this important to you? And if I didn't have the clarity and I wasn't clear, those questions would have been really hard to answer. I would have stumbled. And I got to be honest, in the beginning, I kind of did. When I first said I was writing a book, people would ask me, and I stumbled a little bit until I became clear on mission and vision. This is a year when you're looking at being clear and having clarity. This is the year to know who you are and what you stand for. So if you have not ever created a vision or a mission statement, I'm going to encourage you to do that. It brings about abundant clarity, and it helps when people are questioning or asking you exactly what you're doing and you're showing up. And if you can't answer it, they walk away and you've missed your opportunity to identify your place in the world. So growth without identity leads to delusion. And that's really important. It will dilute your position and your place in the world, in your existence. Visibility is a gift, and let clarity lead you in that growth. Number 6 thing to talk about with you is energy management must replace time management. Growth is not about doing more. It's about the power of less. And I'm watching the thing. It's so fun how this is tied into my mission, right? To redefine success through the power of less. Growth isn't about doing more. And that's how we've been conditioned. If I want to be successful, I need to do more. If I want a better life, I need to do more. I need to do more strategies, more actions, more of the activities that I think are going to get me to success when there's a lot of power in doing less. And I don't mean we're reducing our goals. What I mean through the power of less is we're letting go. Back to that first point, we're letting go of the things that are not aligned with us anymore, which creates a void and a space for the right things to show up. So energy management is really important. It's not about suffocating yourself with doing more for the sake of doing more. It's really about when you create the space of less or use the power of less, it's allowing you to do the right more. That's really important. That will shift your energy. This was a big change for me, and this happened years ago. And I had a great coach who was helping me do just that, clear the space of the noise, clear the space of the things that weren't really moving me forward. I don't love to say the word, they weren't serving me, but a lot of people are familiar with that. It just wasn't working for me in the way that I wanted it to, yet I was in this habit of, if I was going to be successful, I just had to do more and do more, even if it wasn't working, because something's going to happen if you just do it. And the moment I let that go and I focused on what brought me happiness and joy and results and gave my energy there, and that's where I did my energy management, the goal ceiling was blown away. I cracked through that ceiling that I kept hitting year after year after, I kept having the same year over and over and over. And when I allowed my energy management to go to the right more, everything changed. So energy management is more important than time management. Now, time management, calendar, that stuff is important, but first you got to get your energy management in place. So think about it. Don't just jump into doing more, jump into managing your energy. Clean calendars, so removing the things that are not moving you in the right direction, will support growth, clean growth that you're actually going to enjoy. I believe we all have the right to that as human beings, entrepreneurs, leaders, executives, whatever you are in life, mom, dad, parent, sibling, spouse, whatever, that we've got the right to enjoy our growth and have it be clean growth that we enjoy as we move forward. The last thing is know that growth is a choice, not a default. All right. The new year doesn't guarantee growth, but your decisions do. Just because, if we lean into the zodiac sign here and we say, okay, it's really the year of growth and it's the year of the horse, and it's going to be amazing, and I don't really have to do anything. It's just going to happen because that's the sun, the moon, the stars are all aligned for growth. That's not how it works, right? A new year doesn't guarantee growth. Your decisions about what you're going to do will make the difference. You can't wish it. If it were that way, we would all be happy, content, making a lot of money, enjoying the life that we've built. If we could just wish it, you must take action. And that's where the decisions are going to make a difference as to if you have growth or not in this upcoming year. Growth requires your conscious participation. This is part of that business plan. This is part of the strategies that you created. That is conscious participation. You wrote it. If you haven't, please write one. You wrote your plan. Now participate with it. The clearing's already happened. According to the Chinese zodiac, we had 2 years of clearing, right? Last year was definitely a year of clearing, the year of the snake shedding, snake sheds its skin. We shed. So the clearing has already happened. What you carry forward with you is going to define the year. And my hope for you is that you're only carrying forward the activities that support your growth, that you've eliminated, got rid of the things that are out of alignment with your core values as a human being and a business owner. Intention will be more important right now than recovery. Let it go, move into the year with intention, and you're going to recover a lot quicker. It will happen automatically versus having to force a recovery. Alignment turns clarity into momentum. So this is where that conscious participation, being in alignment with the activities that you said would get you to goal, are really, really important. This all falls into alignment. This is what I love about this. So I am a person of strong faith in God. And I'm open enough to look at the way different cultures look at things. My beliefs, my core beliefs are in alignment with this. I may not call it the year of the horse or have referred to my last year as the year of the snake, right? That's not what I looked at it as. But when I look at the core values or the definitions of what this culture is identifying for the last year and the upcoming year, it's pretty in alignment with the beliefs that I have. It's just said differently. It's like speaking a different language. We're saying the same thing, just using different words. I want you to really think about 2026. And I want you to think about the fact that the last 2 years was a season. I've been through it before. I've been through, we call it a shifting market. You can call it whatever you want. It was a cleansing. And we were forced to let go of a lot of things. If you didn't willingly do it with intention, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, had a way of forcing it to happen. And this year is asking you to move forward with intentionality, clarity, and through being unburdened by the things that no longer are working. So it's not about being faster or being harder. It's about being cleaner. I love the thought that 2026, and we're starting a new year, and it's the year of renewal, whatever you want to make it. I love the thought that it's a cleaner year. And I think that was the feeling I was experiencing on New Year's Eve when I was watching the energy of the people celebrating the welcoming of the new year. At midnight, this new opportunity has been presented to us. And for me, I love thinking that it's a way of approaching a cleaner year. It's really exciting when I look at it that way. So I'm going to invite you to do the same. So whether you believe in the culture that we spoke about today or not, put it in your own words, put it in a way that makes sense to you. I promise you, if you were a living, breathing human being, the last 2 years have done one thing: forced us to become realistic about what was working and what wasn't working, and really question who we were and how we wanted to show up. If you participated, you've done the cleansing. If you haven't, I would spend some time really reflecting on the last 2 years and think about what you should have. Maybe you're still holding on and carrying it, hoping that it'll suddenly work for you. What you need to let go of, whether it's a change of your environment, change of the organization you belong to, change in the approach that you take to success. Whatever that is, mindset, beliefs, thoughts, strategies, whatever that might be, it is a great time to reflect on that and to let that stuff go, have a general cleansing so you can move into this next year as a different person and one with abundant clarity. Team, it's so good to be back. Taking a couple of weeks off was really good for the soul. I hope you did. I hope you took advantage of some family and quiet time and reflection. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Make it a great one. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.